Hi, everyone. Welcome to day July 7. We're so happy and excited to be here with y'all. Please make sure that you have somewhere to write down everything that we're going to be learning today. And now let's welcome Angela. Hi, Angela.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you. Yes, we are in our first webinar for the month of July, and we're going to go over a few different things. For our spotlight, we're going to talk about some bath essentials, Melissa Bath Essence and the Honey Milk and Rice Bath Foam. We're going to go over a quick challenge that you can do with those products and send to Cesar or Cynthia for a special prize. And for business tools, we'll go over the Kids Care quiz, get to know it a little bit better, go into more detail of what that looks like, and kind of how to use it. So we'll go through a complete demonstration of how to do a park and play date with kids wellness event. So I'm going to give an example as if I'm inviting people who are bringing their kids, their nieces and nephews, their grandkids, etc., and just kind of go through the step-by-step process of what that would look like. And that will be part of our sales S for search for new people. We're going to go through a little sales calculator to help you set some goals using the Kids Care set that will be on promotion this month. And for tech tip, we're going to go over the use certification. What is an easy way to get those certifications done using technology to your advantage so you can get certified on as many topics as you can. It really boosts your product knowledge and helps you feel more confident when talking to customers kind of on the fly. You'll have lots of information ready to go. And then we'll wrap up with some reminders. So like I said, we're going to talk about kind of bath products for kids, but also for adults. This is a wonderful combination using the Melissa Bath Essence along with the Honey Milk and Rice Bath Foam. So this combination is going to help with a lot of things. It's going to help with bath time for babies, toddlers, and a little bit older kids as well as adults. Great for calming us down and helping us get a good night's sleep. It's really good for dry and dehydrated or sensitive skin. That Honey Milk and Rice Bath Essence is great for people who have sensitive skin, eczema, dryness, etc. And also for stress, anxiety, irritability, adding to that same needs card like overstimulation or kids when they get really wound up from a birthday party, from the fireworks, from, all these special events that you might have going on, especially during the summer. You'll have this as an option to kind of de-stress and unwind all of that tension that can be built up during a really busy day. So the Melissa Bath Essence has emotional benefits such as, it has that really sweet herbal natural aroma. It's soothing, it's relaxing, it's going to help reduce our stress, nervousness, and irritability, and it's going to help promote restful sleep. But this formula is also really gentle. So it has Melissa extract and then lavender and chamomile essential oils, as well as sunflower oil and almond oil, which are going to be really moisturizing for the skin. So we have really gentle oils and extracts combined with nourishing oils like sunflower and almond that are going to help protect and nourish our skin. So this is a great thing for us to use with, like I said, for kids when they're overstimulated or if bedtime is really hard. Like we're not going to have time changes anymore, which is a big deal, but I use this a lot during time changes where I have to switch my kids' bedtime to help them get as relaxed as possible when changing their schedules. Or maybe some of you are going through this in the summer as well, of just like the school schedule changing from school schedule to summer schedule, and you still need to get them to bed, but it's light until 9 p.m. This is really great for that, but also for us as adults, like women, if you have hormonal irritability during the month or anything like that, or just from the stress of a really busy long day, this essence has such a powerful effect. This aroma has such a powerful effect on our brain and our body and really helps us to unwind in, that 15-20 minutes that we soak in a bath with this. Just remember too, with our bath essences, for adults, it's usually 1 or 2 capfuls in a full warm bath. But for kiddos, you're going to use about half of a capful for them, or also half of a capful if you're going to be doing like a foot bath with this product as well. Then for the honey milk and rice bath foam, this works together with this bath essence really, really well. A lot of times when we're using this with kids, they're like not all about bath without bubbles. But we don't want to mix regular soaps with our bath essences if we really want the chance to absorb those essential oils and their benefits. So by using a used bath foam with that bath essence, you're going to be able to still use those essential oils, absorb them well, and not break them down by using regular soaps with them. So I usually, if I have my kids in a bath with these products, I have them soak for their 15 minutes. And then if I'm doing regular shampoos and soaps, that's always at the end after they've had a nice long soak with their used products. This is great because this bath foam has cleansing and moisturizing properties. So it's kind of like a soap and a body lotion in one. It helps to protect and soften our skin. It has calming effects for that sensitive and irritated skin. For example, people with sensitive skin, eczema, and it's been clinically tested for ages 2 and up. So a lot of us are able to use this with our toddlers as well. But it's really, really gentle and has those multiple effects for us. So the key ingredients in this blend are honey, rice, aloe vera, and oats, all very calming, soothing, natural ingredients. So for our consultant challenge today, we are going to focus on these products for the topic of relaxing baths. And so I'm going to give you some ideas of what you can use to post a reel to Instagram. You can use the same video for TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, etc. And we're just going to focus on telling a story about a very busy or very exhausting day, and breaking it down into that kind of that outline that we've been using a lot for our social media outreach. And what you'll want to do is have your Melissa Bath Essence and your honey milk and rice bath foam ready, and just like a little dish of water for your virtual demonstration that you're going to do. And basically, you're going to start by recording a video. We'll do this together. I'm just going to make it up on the spot with you so that you can see the example. So as I'm posting, let's say I'm going to start by posting in Instagram first, right? So I'm going to either record just on my regular like phone app on my phone or from inside Instagram, whatever works best for you. But I'm going to start by when I put my video on Instagram, I'm going to add text that stays up on my video so it's easy for people to see what need I am talking about. So for me in English, it would be like overstimulation, right? Would be the little text that's over it. I could add it in as a hashtag or as a text box. And so overstimulation would be present on my video the whole time by using a little text box in Instagram. Then I would start by storytelling, and I want to get right to the point when I start my video. So I would say, I love it when I find something that works really well for my kids' needs as well as my own. That would be my hook, right? People would be like, oh, I wonder what that is, right? And I'll start storytelling about a really busy or exhausting day. So in the summer, a lot of times we have neighborhood kids over, sometimes multiple kids over. Our kids are swimming and they're running around and there's water fights. They're jumping on trampolines, they're on the swings, they're on their bikes. Sometimes my kids are so excited to be outside. I live in a cold climate. They're so excited to be outside in the summer when we actually have nice weather, that they just go, 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 go. And then they feel like the sun is still up. It's summertime. The sun is still up, like you can still see quite a bit of daylight at 8:30 p.m. So in order to convince my children that it's actually bedtime after a really busy day, we need some extra tools to help with that. So one of the key resources I turn to is an aromatherapy bath. So first I start a warm bath in the bathtub, and I add used Melissa Bath Essence. This is Melissa extract, lavender essential oil, chamomile essential oil, plus some nourishing oils like sunflower and almond oil that are going to be really gentle for my kids' skin. Because their skin is also exposed to a lot of sun and things like that in the summer. And so I want it to be a gentle bath for them. So I'm going to add about half a capful of this. And here I would do my little demonstration. And my kids need to be cleaned pretty much every day in the summer because they're so busy and just hot and running around outside. So I also love the honey milk and rice bath essence from Muse because it's cleansing and moisturizing, and it creates great bubbles for my kids. And it's not going to diminish the properties of the essential oils that I've just added to their bath. So I'm going to add a capful of that to their bath as well. The aroma that these two create together. So I have the Melissa extra, or the Melissa Bath essence, that's kind of like a sweet herbal aroma, plus the honey milk and rice bath foam, which is like a really creamy, almost like neutral but sweet honey aroma, right? So once those two things are mixed together, my kids come in and they're like, "Oh, what is that smell? It smells so good." They want to be in the bath. They are so calm by the end of it. And the nice thing is I can use this for, oh, and that's my use solution, by the way. And then my result, I can use this for my kids when they're overstimulated, but also for me when I'm overstimulated, when I'm irritable, when I'm going through PMS or other hormonal shifts that really affect my mood. I get them to bed and I can take a bath with these same products and feel the same results, right? So I can add a little bit more to my bath, but it still does me a lot of good as well. So if this is something that you're interested in for your family and for yourself, you're going to go into my comments and comment bath, and you'll get a link to these products sent links to these products sent right to your direct messages. And then in the description, I'd stop recording. I would, in the description, rewrite that little call to action and 3 to 5 hashtags that are relevant to my topic, and then I can post. Easy peasy, right? So this is kind of our structure of how we do a storytelling reel with a use solution and its result and a good call to action, and really get people moving. Some of you might be directing people to your biography, to your profile in Instagram or TikTok so that they can shop from your link. Some of you might be using TikTok with ManyChat, or not TikTok, Instagram with ManyChat, like I did, of comment bath, and it'll get sent right to your messages, things like that. So this is just like a good structure to make sure that you don't miss any of the key parts as you're talking during your visual or your virtual demonstration. Then you're going to take that video, you can post it to your stories with a sticker link to the products. You might want to do two separate sticker links, one for the bath bomb, one for the Melissa Bath Essence, whatever works best for you. Or they're also included in some of our sets that you can also link an entire set that includes these two products. Then you can also post that same video to Reels and set up your ManyChat your automation in ManyChat so that you tell them comment bath on an Instagram reel, and it will send the links right to them once you've programmed it to do so. So that's a great way to use this. Use that same video in TikTok. Use that same video in your YouTube Shorts. Just remember that on each platform, your call to action might be just a little bit different. If you have any questions about how to set that up, let us know. But you can really create your video and just adjust your call to action on all these different platforms. And it's a good way to reach a wider audience from this one effort that you've already made, right? So that is your challenge for this week, is create a story-based reel focused on a very busy or exhausting day. You make sure you include all these key points, post it to stories with a sticker link to a direct product link, and then post it to Reels using a ManyChat trigger word, or by directing them to your biography, okay, to your bio. So put that on your to-do list. It's a different way to just keep posting those virtual demonstrations and reaching a wider audience on your social media platforms. Now, obviously, a big emphasis this month is Kids Care. So for our business tool today, we wanted to talk about the Kids Care quiz and just get to know it a little bit better. So you can always search this in your consultant app under resources. It's always in the SPA folder too, if you want to look through it that way. I'm going to show you how to open it up on a desktop today. So if I log into my used virtual office and I click on SPA and SPA tools, then I will find it in the documents below. It's in kind of like the first section on this list, and I'll open it up. And it's a 4-page long document. I have the quiz as the first page, and then I have the recommendations are the second and third pages, and then like a back cover page, right? So this is meant to be kind of like a 4-part brochure for us to share with our customers. So the biggest part is the quiz. This is the resource that you could take a screenshot of and send off to your customers in a virtual option. You could print this off and take it with you to a wellness event and have it kind of be like that icebreaker of marking the things, and then play who has the most or who has the most in common, things like that. So this first page is really one of our top priorities. So let's look at the questions that are on this quiz. And if you know the key used recommendation, just write it quickly in the chat as we go through. So the first question says, my child gets bumps or bruises from playing or running around the house. Obviously, we would recommend body balm. So like a vigorous circular massage with body balm on the affected area will help them from getting those more painful bruises later, activates that circulation and calms the inflammation. Okay, question number 2. Frequently, a simple cut or scrape gets easily infected. We know kids are terrible at taking care of their cuts. They are picking, they get dirty, it's a whole thing. I'm going through this right now with my daughter. She's all scraped up because she fell on some cement. So what are our key products that we would recommend in this situation? Tea tree oil and tea tree cream. I personally like to use tea tree oil at first when they first get scraped knees or something like that. But then I like to use tea tree cream as their wound is a little bit scabbed over and they want to pick at them because they get itchy. So we would apply this cream to keep the area moisturized while still having those great antiseptic effects from the tea tree oil. All right, question number 3. After swimming, my children always complain about ear aches. So it's very easy to get that pressure buildup in the ear area when we have a long day of swimming. So this, again, we would talk about tea tree oil on a warm compress, not putting it inside the ear necessarily, just a warm compress with tea tree oil on the outer ear, which means you take a dish of warm water with some tea tree oil, put a washcloth or other compress that you're going to use, wring it out and put it on the area to reduce that extra inflammation. And then obviously contact your doctor if they're showing symptoms of an ear infection or anything like that. My kids tend to overindulge on snacks and sweets at birthday parties and other events over the summer, and they often come home with an upset stomach. This is where we would talk about using chamomile essential oil with a carrier. I usually do this with our Aroma Blends body lotion. So like a pump of that with a couple drops of chamomile essential oil, and then you rub that on their abdomen, and it helps a lot with getting things moving and reducing that stomach cramping that they're experiencing when they have an upset stomach. So chamomile with one of our carriers. And after a busy day, my child gets revved up and often has trouble falling asleep. So this is where that combination we just talked about, the chamomile, the Melissa bath essence with lavender and chamomile in it with the Melissa extract, and the honey milk and rice bath foam. My children always catch a cold at the first signs of winter weather. So in the kids care set, we have Thyme cream and Eucosol spray. This guide also mentions eucalyptus essential oil that you could use in a diffuser or on a tissue or with one of our carriers. Usually what started as a common cold ends up as a cough that prevents my children from getting a restful good night's sleep. So Thyme cream and Thyme bath essence would be really helpful for those lower respiratory symptoms, such as persistent cough. And when my child is tired or after a recent cold or flu, his defenses are low, he frequently gets sick again. What bath essence would we recommend here to boost your natural defenses? That is the Echinacea Ginseng Bath Essence to help boost our body's natural immune response. Okay, so that Kids Care quiz has those 8 questions, and notice how the questions are numbered. The recommendations are numbered to correspond with each of those questions. And then if you're printing out this entire document, it would be like a brochure that you can fold in half so that the back page has room for you to also include your consultant information if you're going for the full brochure. So a really helpful document. Technically, you could use this like a wellness event guide if you wanted to, just for like a quick guide of problem, solution to talk about those needs. And you'll notice that this has a few extra products other than just the regular guide that's completely connected to the Kids Care set. Okay, so that's a really good resource for us to take advantage of. And that's actually something you can use for our prospecting project that we're talking about today by creating wellness events out in nature during these regular summer events that are going on. And we're going to talk about a specific example of how to create a wellness event out of a trip to the park, right? So kind of like the complete guide of what to do and what that should look like. So by creating this event, you are searching for new people. It might be people within your network who aren't used customers yet. It could be existing used customers who haven't tried out the kids care set yet. Or it could be like, hey, invite a friend to come along with their kids too, and just get a group of parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents together with some kids in their lives to go play at the park while the adults chat about your used demonstration. So this is an example of a park play date. First, I would prepare myself with the guide for kids care. I would make sure I'm certified in that guide and have that great product knowledge so that I can answer people's questions and have a really good idea of what I'm talking about before I run this event. And then I would have links to my set, like the kids care set, and maybe a few other complementary products ready to go, saved in my notes so that I can share those quickly with people at the end of my event. So I'm going to be prepared first. Then I'm going to send out some personal casual invitations to the people that I think would be interested in this. Remember, I'm going to send out quite a few invitations, expecting about 20% of those people to respond and show up. Okay. And just because of life and it's busy and it's not always the right fit for everyone on that day and that time. And then I'm going to also just, once we show up at the park, the kids are going to start playing. We just intro our event with some casual conversation. We talk about the parks and our kids and how our summer's going, etc. And then we also bring along our needs cards and or our kids care quiz, so that we can get some of those needs conversations started with those materials that we already have. Then we would present the kids care guide following those instructions. And at the end, we'd offer different sets and add-ons with QR codes or direct product links, however you feel more comfortable. So here's what it would look like, right? So I have studied my wellness event guide. I can print it out and take it along with me. It's okay for me to read from it. Remember, it's always a good way to show that being a consultant is an achievable goal, because we have all these resources guiding us. I would do my certification, which will take me about 10 minutes or less to go through the guide and make sure I've understood some of those key points. And I would answer my questions, submit my certification, and later on get my certification certificate, right? My certificate from Cynthia and Cesar later on. And I would get some of my links ready. So I would have my kids care set link, my direct product link from my shopping website ready to go. I might have a couple of my complementary products as well, such as tea tree oil, which is not in this set, the honey milk and rice bath foam, maybe the chamomile essential oil and aroma blends, things like that. Because if I'm using that quiz and some of those topics come up, I might be able to add on some of those products for some of my customers or my guests. So I get prepared, right? I'm organized, I'm ready to go. I have my products, I have my guides, I'm certified, I have my links ready to go. Then I'm going to send out personal and casual invitations to everyone. This is the example we gave the other week, right? So, hi, we're getting a few families together at Lakeview Park this Saturday at 10 a.m. for a play date and a few natural kids care tips. Would you like to join us? I'd love to catch up. And then they answer and you give them the details and they attend your event, right? Then once we're at the event at the park itself, we're going to introduce the topic with some casual conversation. We're going to pull out, we have tons of needs cards that apply to this topic. I showed 4, but there's a ton more. Go through your needs cards and pull out anything that relates to the quiz, the guide, any other kids care needs that you tend to use from your own personal experience. Have those cards ready to open up more possibilities. And like I said, you'll want to bring along that quiz. You'd probably want to print off at least that first page so that your guests can fill that out. If you're tech savvy, I would maybe do this on the front and then on the back, like if you turn the orientation, have those other 2 pages with the recommendations on the back. But at least this first page so your guests can fill it out. Okay. And then I would start my demonstration using my wellness event guide, Caring for Kids. So I would go through step by step and demonstrate each of the products. I would ask those introductory questions and go through that whole guide's worth of information. And the kids are playing, so we're probably going to have lots of distractions in here. Be mentally prepared for that because that's just how a park play date is, right? But keep it casual, just go along with it. You're going to have some distractions, but that's okay. And then at the end, you'll want a moment to talk to each person about what they think. Maybe they had a piece of paper during the wellness event that they're writing down what stands out to them. And then you help each person decide what would be the best fit for them and their family's needs. So you want to have the kids care set ready, but like I said, there's some other products that come up in this topic that you might want to have prepared as well. So a lot of times it's either, oh, I'll text you the direct product link, or if it's a really big event, you might want to create a QR code for those different products so that people can just scan on their own device instead of, sharing lots of phone numbers. So kids, if you are creating a QR code, right now I would say the best places to go for that would be to create it with Canva or with Linktree. We have done it with Bitly in the past, but their free version has gotten a little bit more limited where you can only do like 2 QR codes a month. So Canva and Linktree are probably your best options for that. For those of you who are interested in doing QR codes, if you have like a big event coming. All right. So then that's going to help us really boost our sales for the month by having that bigger event where we're bringing a lot of people together to talk about this topic. So if you think of it, let's do a sales calculator example using the kids care set, right? Let's say I am at a regular consultant level and I'm selling this set. Normally the regular retail price would be $264, right? For our customers. With the July offer, it's $211.20. Like this is a really big discount on this set. These are all full-size products. They're going to last a long time and cover so many different needs for these families. And plus with this set, you could add on a few extra things, right? If they're interested in the bath foam, in the tea tree oil, etc., based on their biggest needs that they chose during your conversations. So if we're selling just this set by itself, if you sell one set at $211 with 20 cents, you're going to earn $52.80 per set just at a regular consultant level. If you sell 3 of these, right, that's going to bring your personal sales volume up to $633.60, which means you are a pro consultant already just by selling 3 of these sets. So that means you would be earning that extra bonus in your commission. You'd be earning 30% total commission. So you'd be earning $190.08 just by selling these 3 sets. That's definitely worth the time of planning one of these park and play date events, right? And if you are at a leader status, right, you have your personal sales goal volume, you have at least those 3 active consultants on your team, you have your team sales volume goals, everything is met for your leader status, then your personal sales volume would be higher than 633 as a leader status, right? But you earn $253.44 in commissions just by selling 3 sets when you are a leader. So definitely worth the coaching effort, definitely worth that extra consistency for your business. So take a look at these numbers, write one of them down, make an action plan for how to sell your 1 set and make your $52.80, how to sell your 3 sets, become a pro consultant and make $190, or how do you reach that leader status and earn the 253.44 and more, right? So make that little note on your to-do list and start breaking that down by what are you going to do to make that happen, right? Okay. And then for our tech tip today, we're just going to take a little time to talk about how to get certified on this topic. What's the easiest, most time efficient way to do this process? And we're even going to answer a few of the questions from the Kids Care certification together. So you're going to have a head start. If you haven't done this yet, you'll be able to pop into that and already have a good chunk of it done, right? So like I said, when we are going to do the certification, it is all of the questions on the certification are based on the wellness event guide. So you want to have the wellness event guide open. I don't want you to just answer these from what you think, because the idea is that you learn how to really look closely at those guides and really understand them well, right? So we're going to open our guide. Like we said, we're going to go into virtual office, spa tools, open up your wellness event guide, right? For caring for kids. Then after that, we're also going to go in and open our certification. I'm doing this on a desktop because I like to have my 2 tabs open and work on them at the same time, and it's just much more time efficient for me. You can do this on your phone, but I'm showing you on a desktop just because it's easier to organize. So I have my guide pulled up on my desktop or on my laptop. And then I am going to go into my virtual office just on that main page, like my regular dashboard page, right? Like my regular page. And if I scroll down a little bit, right below my stats, there's those quick links. And in the quick links, you'll see the useful links for consultants, right? And so, but if you click on that, you get the link tree for consultants. And the very first link is for certifications, right? Because this is a big focus for us right now. So I'm going to click there. It's going to show me the other link tree of the certifications. I just choose the topic that I'm doing, and it will open up that Google form for me. So as you're doing your certification, organize, do it on a desktop if this is easier for you to see. Have a window on your left side with your quiz, have a window on your right side with your guide, and you can use the two at the same time on your screen, especially if you, like, this is what my Windows looks like, is I click on the maximize, minimize option. If I just hover over it, I can tell each tab where to go on my screen, and it automatically sets it up beautifully for me instead of me resizing everything. So I have my guide and my certification quiz, and I can work between those two documents really easily and get this done in probably 5 minutes. And let's do a couple of these questions together just so you can see how easy it is to just find the information and answer your questions, and get all the information you need right from this guide. So one of the first questions is, how many mandatory products are needed for this topic? So that means we're going to look over in our guide and see the list of products you will need, right? Sometimes you'll see the mandatory products and the complementary products just both on this one page. This guide is a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and look, list of products you will need. Here I see my mandatory products, like the main products that are in the guide. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because it says tea tree oil and cream, that's 2 products. It says thyme cream and bath essence, that's 2 products, right? So it's 8 total products. There we go. Then it also asks how many complementary products can be included for this topic. Over here, it just kind of talks about there's a lot of them, but if I scroll down through my guide, I will find another page towards the end that has a whole page of complementary products. I see lavender cream and essential oil, 1, 2, 3 mint, that's number 3, the bath foam, 4, and SOS motivation, 5. So I have 5 complementary products that are briefly mentioned at the end of this guide. Okay, so easy peasy, right? We're just counting. Yeah. Another one of the questions that's a little bit more in depth, but totally doable, says many uses of tea tree work well in the oil or cream form. Like you can use either one for a lot of different things. But in which of the following situations would you use tea tree oil instead of the cream? So you can kind of look, and it says mark all that apply. So there's probably multiple answers here. So you can probably kind of guess which ones. But what happens is people will start answering based on their own experience instead of looking at the guide, and then it gets to feel difficult. Well, I think I could use cream or oil on this one, but could I use oil instead or cream on this one, right? So if I look at my guide, which is where I'm looking for my answers, on the tea tree oil and cream page, there's a primary uses and recommendations. It tells all these different things and tells me cream or oil or cream, right? Like it divides it all up. So as I scan down, the first one I see that's not both says canker sores, use pure oil on it. So I would mark that on my answer. That's one that I would use oil for instead of cream. Toothache, swish oil in water or soaked cotton until you can see or get in to see a dentist. Toothache. Ear pain, compress soaked in warm water and oil until you can get in to see a medical professional. Ear pain. Yeah. And sore throat, gargle oil in warm water until you can get in to see a medical professional. There we go. So canker sores, toothache, ear pain, sore throat are the things that we generally recommend the oil for, because it's more like mouth and ear, right? Like it's a little bit more in depth. You're not going to want to put tea tree cream in your mouth. So it feels like a lot of information, but if you just go down this list, you can mark those 4 things that mention anything besides cream or oil, right? Okay, so that's a good head start on that quiz. Go ahead and pop in on that today and complete that certification for your Caring for Kids guide. And then you'll be certified. You'll get the certification. And as you do these events on this topic, you can print that out and have it out to help build your credibility. And also for yourself. You'll feel more confident giving advice as people are asking you questions and things like that. You'll have a lot more information to pull from by being certified on this topic. So, for our call to action this week, let's wrap up kind of all those ideas that we talked about today. Make sure that you complete your Caring for Kids guide certification and talk about this topic on your social media outreach so that you're reaching more people, okay? Prepare a wellness event at a local park, talking about kids care, getting some families with kids in their lives together. Organize your links to those key sets, like the Kids Care set and any other complementary products. Get those organized in your notes on your phone, or you can create QR codes for them depending on the size and scale of your event. Have those ready so that you can share them with people easily at the end of the event. You don't want to be like clicking all over on your website when you're trying to wrap up with 10 different people, right? So be organized right away from the get-go. And then, as always, set your goals for selling over $500 in products and sets to become that pro consultant. Are you going to achieve that this week? Are you going to achieve that in these first 2 weeks? Are you going to achieve it this month so that you get your bonus? Like, what is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish this month? Make sure you write that on your vision board. Make it big, make it count, and hold yourself responsible for that. Hold yourself accountable for that. So each week, we're doing a little more than the last. Keep growing and trying new things to boost your used business and your used product knowledge. So those of you who are coming in to join us for the replay, thank you so much for getting caught up and joining us on your own time. We appreciate you making that effort. And those of you who are here with us live, please stay tuned for a few time sensitive reminders.